Alright, folks, this is Rabble Rousing Rich Bergeron.
And Psychic Tom Paget with both crystal balls ready to go. Ready to give a second opinion as requested.
Great stuff, and that's an inside joke we'll explain later. But anyway, we got so much stuff to cover. Weird stories this week. Believe it or not, I don't know why Vince isn't returning my phone calls, but I'm a WWE superstar. If you've seen my Facebook page. I know I've said that before, but I posted that before, but it's just so funny to me. It says WWE Rich Bergeron and MMA Boss Rutan on this website called AllStarWrestling.com. All right. Well, Vince owes me some royalties. Maybe that's why he's not returning my calls. But anyway,
I was looking for your mania.
Yeah, I know. Well, next guy retires, I'll step in. All right, Well, they can just pretend like I was a long lost wrestler everybody forgot about, because I never existed. Anyway, getting back to serious stuff. We talk a lot about guys that should get the message that they need to go away in the sport. Guys that have stuck around too long, and some of them stink a little bit more than others when they get to that point, and just make it obvious. And this week, one of our favorite guys to bash actually tried MMA and failed miserably. I think he got disqualified his first time out. Pissed off a lot of people from the weigh-in right into the ring. And if you don't know who I'm talking about now, Tony, you haven't gained your nickname properly. Who am I talking about? He's got a similar name to me.
What'd you say?
He's got a similar name to me, but it's like Spanish. First name. It's the only clue you're getting.
Okay.
He's a big asshole, he's in your face all the time. He was a boxer, went into MMA. He's in the news now because he sucks so bad. He's stuck around too long. Who am I talking about? Yes! Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Am I right?
Yes, the Rain Man comes through. So yeah, Ricardo Mayorga, guess what happened to him? Take a wild guess. How old is he, first of all? How old do you think he is?
Well, I would say he's probably around 48 years old.
Ooh! His lawyer's calling you for lawsuit for defamation. He's 46.
He's older than me.
He's only 46, Tony. Your age.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so you're gonna love this one. So guess what happened? Just take a wild guess. 40-year-old fighter getting in the ring again. No, he got in the ring again, right? And he went to boxing. He didn't. He did the MMA for a little while there. I made fun of him on one of my own other websites that I wrote for. I wrote an article about it. But he went back into boxing, and he fought a guy who was making his pro debut, and he got knocked out.
What? Oh, man. Talk about a low point, huh?
Stopped inside 2 rounds to a fighter who was making his professional debut. And
wow.
And what makes
now he can't quit. He doesn't want to leave on a note that sour.
Yeah,
oh, man.
yes. And it's on YouTube. But anyway, yeah. That's our bash a fighter who deserves to be bashed story of the week. Now we're talking about WWE. It was kind of a weird story. There was actually a fan who got arrested at WWE there.
Did you see it?
I didn't see the video. No, I've been meaning to watch it all week, but I've been busy with other shit.
I heard about it when I already had a friend might have posted something. I wasn't watching it live. friend, I posted, I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? I'm like, what happened? She goes, some guy, like, tried to tackle Bret Hart. I'm like, what? She goes, he got his ass beat. Well, that's the understatement of the decade. He was probably taken down and pummeled by, what's his name? Ronda Rousey. What's his name again? I'm going blank. Ty something?
Who?
He's the UFC fighter.
Ty?
Yeah. What's Ronda Rousey's husband's name?
Oh,
Travis something?
Travis, yeah. Travis Brown.
Yeah, okay. Travis Brown, yeah. He took the guy down and basically mounted on top of him and hit him with about 6 clean punches directly to the face.
Holy shit.
And then they took him out of the ring and they're dragging him away. There's another guy, he's like a bunch of wrestlers that were dragging away, not security, it was wrestlers. One guy, his name's Dash Wilder. He's part of the tag team called the Revival. As they're dragging, he just steps right over and hits this guy just with an uppercut directly in the face. And the guy just drops to his knees. And then, because this guy sued for them, robbing the law, like, well, he started it.
Mm-hmm. Did the fan sue? The Riddick Bowe thing?
You know what? That's a great question.
Anyway, yeah, I didn't watch WrestleMania. Did you get a chance to watch it, Tony?
We had a party.
You had a party. Okay, so you dressed as Hulk Hogan. Well, I don't know. I don't know why I can't picture that. No, I'm just kidding.
Hardly believe it.
So tell us the 5-minute clip wrap up. What happened? Even though we don't talk as much about wrestling as we usually do.
Yep, Kurt Angle had the final match of his illustrious Hall of Fame career. He lost going out. John Cena made an appearance with his old school Mark economics gimmick. The final match was a triple threat women's match. Becky Lynch scored a surprise pin on Ronda Rousey with a botched cradle. You also had Seth Rollins taking down Brock Lesnar for a pinfall to win the title. I think the most emotional match on the card was Kofi Kingston, and everybody really rallied behind Daniel Bryan to win the title.
Whoa. Lots of surprises, huh?
Yeah.
Well, shifting gears a little bit, we're going to go from a little bit of fake stuff to a little bit of real stuff. Bare knuckle fighting. Our buddy.
Before we do that, I just want to mention one. I just got to give a quick shout out to Tom. We're on the show last week, and I said, Tom, I want you to put into your crystal ball. It's crystal ball A, not crystal ball B.
Uh-huh.
Break into your crystal ball, and I got some coming up. And Tom did not have it correct at first. But I did obtain tickets for the Canelo Alvarez, Danny Garcia, Daniel Jacobs fight in Las Vegas in 3 weeks. I'm in section 204 for L. Team 17 and 18 and I are going out. So he did not have that correct. So a couple days, I'm in the office and I see my phone rings and I see the number and there's a number. And at first my stomach dropped because I knew whose phone number it was. And I was waiting for some very bad news. I answer the phone expecting to hear some sad news about my good friend Hank, only to realize it was Hank on the phone.
There you go.
Well, and yeah, and you know what? I mean, still in bed, and you know, the man got the spirit, that I wish I could have. And he was like, "Listen, I want to talk to you about something." And he goes, "Would you be interested in something?" I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, Damon Feldman. We all know Damon's a lot of celebrity boxing and the stuff in Philadelphia and all that. The first time at me, they realized he knew recognize my name, and there's talk about me doing maybe a show in Atlantic City in June.
Really?
When I said I got something coming up, the Tom Guys are fighting again, and I was like, no. Wow, Tom, you were on it before I was.
All right. That's what we call the collective unconscious. I learned that trick in Tibet. I was up on the mountains with monks. All right, buddy.
That's awesome.
Pretty serious, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, it could be, they had a couple dates available. I was thinking about back to June 8th, and, you know, I'm training hard anyway. You know, I'm running 2 miles a day, and I'm doing heavy bag.
How's your weight doing?
You know, I'm running 300. I mean, I'm waiting a minute. And, so.
Well, you got till June. You got till June, and I have a lot of confidence in your ability to take off weight.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You've proven that, and you know, there's an old cliche: past performance is no guarantee of future performance, but there should be insurance besides that, except in the case of the tornado. So we know you can do it. All right, buddy.
Sorry, trying to get my cat Tyson in the house. Anyway, that's awesome, Tony. I'm looking forward to seeing how you do that. You're gonna have to make a lot of videos and put them on YouTube, and a lot of Rocky music in the background.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was funny. I was actually, I go to LA Fitness every night, and some nights when I get in there, they don't have an early class, a 4:30 class in the aerobics room. I can go in there, I can do my jump rope, I can do my bag work, and I have certain, like, day Friday, and they don't have a class. So I'll go in there, wrap my hands up, and I'll put a playlist on, which is 15 minutes. I mean, about 5 rounds, put it in shadow boxing. Then I'll switch to playlist number 2, which is 30 minutes, and I'll do 30-minute drills on the bag. You know, and I was talking to a kid tonight, and I said, see, I have a playlist that I use at LA Fitness because the bags are much more dense, so I don't really tear into that as much. You know, I do more drill work. And on the other hand, when I work out at home on my water bag, which I really crank into, then I use a different playlist, and I have my timer 3 minute on, 1 minute on. So there's different workouts I do, just to give you that variety. But I see, like, one kid's in there, and I tell you, he really doesn't know what he's doing. But he tries. Another kid's in there, and he looks so much like the Peterson brothers, Lamont and Anthony. Mm-hmm. And when I see how unskilled he is, it actually offends me, and I'm like, he looks so much like the Peterson brothers, who are so talented, and he is not.
Does he go bop every time he throws a punch?
Oh, God, this kid is, I don't know what he does sometimes, but the third kid, a lot of times, smaller kid. I mean, he's only weighed maybe 140 pounds. He's not a big guy. But I was watching him tonight, and he got in there at the same time I did, because we only had a 15-minute window between classes, so I was in shadow boxing. But he already had his hands wrapped, and he was on the bag, because he had a boxing bag, and I'm like, this kid knows a little bit what he's doing. And I'm watching him a little bit as I'm doing my shadow boxing work. And I'm like, he had a shirt, a gray shirt with navy blue state on it. That's all it said. I'm like, I mean, probably a Penn State shirt. So I'm like, I'm going to go talk to him. So I called up to him in the waiting room, and I looked at him, and I said, where'd you learn how to throw hands? And he goes, I thought it was at Penn State University. He said, you know, I'm good friends with your coach. He's like, Coach Ozan? I'm like, yeah. I said, shit, the coach is like this one. This kid, the coach from Penn State now. Bill was the coach when we were there, Richmond. Yeah. He actually helps me now. But the coach from Penn State is the kid that boxed the Lockheed for the national champion. And his name was Osahan Momo Sachi.
Whoa.
The first time I ever saw his name ever was at Shippensburg University, and I was going to help out that night as the ring announcer, and that's one of the places I'm getting assigned. And I'm like,
I believe Shippensburg is where I got my coaching license. I had to drive all the way the hell down there from Norwich in somebody's rental car. Years ago. I'm dating myself. Jesus, that was when I met Dr. Cox for the first and only time.
It's funny because the one kid at the time that asked me to be the ring announcer, he was trying to help coach Shippensburg, and I helped him get his coaching on. So he has to be the ring announcer. And I do this same person on Omonosaki. You want me to announce his name tonight? Well, thankfully, Moses, we call him. So, and so he stood up to the kid like, coach, tell him I met you, and I'm showing a picture of this year.
That's cool. Well, I think you're going to have to recuse yourself from this next conversation, Tony. Because we're going to talk about David Feldman and a very controversial move he made recently in the bare knuckle boxing, or bare knuckle fighting championship, they call it. Rusty Crowder and Reggie Barnett Jr. They had a 5-round fight on the undercard of the Artem Lobov versus Jason Knight bare knuckle fight there. This is their 5th event, BKFC 5. Despite, really putting it all on the line there, Feldman came out and he wasn't impressed with these two guys. Took the microphone and said that Crowder would not receive half of his paycheck. Instead, the money was going to Barnett Jr. Cut his pay in half. Can we do that? Number one is the question. And number two, will Tony still have a fight if he comments? No. No, what do you think, Tom? Is that legal?
Don't comment. No, I think so, but then again, I'm so tired of giving this disclaimer with this state situation I'm handling. Not to say I'm not a lawyer, but we'd have to see the contract. My gut feeling says it's not legal, but who knows what kind of legalese they put in there about pathetic effort shall be determined by, who knows? Because how many of us read if it's like a 10-page thing or something like that,
Yeah. Well, suppose he told the crowd, this is how we do it.
I mean, I can understand.
I've watched a few of these at the beginning, but I haven't watched the recent ones. But supposedly he told the crowd, this is how we do it at bare knuckle. You fight or you don't get paid. So fans were pretty disgusted. They posted their opinions on Twitter. And like Tom, they said, one said, really, would like to see that contract. So, yeah.
Well, here's my question. How pathetic was that fight? Did you see it, Rich?
No. I didn't. I mean, obviously it was enough to make him mad, so.
I mean, if both guys were trying, I mean, again, sometimes you just have those styles that just like if you've got two stick and move guys, it could be pretty boring. Or even just two brawlers that can't just hug each other. I mean, that happens in boxing and MMA. Maybe it was some style thing, but if both guys were trying, I mean, it implies that one of the, the guy that was only getting half his pay wasn't even trying, just going through the but then shame his opponent for not taking him out. Wow. Very interesting.
I mean, it sort of reminds me of the worst case scenario of the UFC's bonus system, where, at times it was just basically all Dana White making that decision, nobody else. Who's going to get your fight of the night? Who's going to get your knockout of the night? Who's going to get your submission of the night? That was all Dana White's decision. And then one time he left it up to the fans. And the fans picked somebody that was already getting a ton of money. So it was just like, what's the purpose of the bonus? You're supposed to be able to change somebody's life with the bonus. And in this case, you're not giving the guy a bonus. I mean, you're giving the other guy a bonus, but you're taking it away from the dude that, I guess, lost the fight. But to me, yeah, it's dangerous territory. Definitely. I don't think it's real though.
Like if they would institute a system like Pride had with the yellow cards, so you would know.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't really think.
Get a warning, and then here comes the first yellow card. There's 10%.
I think there's some WWE to it, though. I think that was staged. I don't really think he did that. I don't think he really took money away. I think it was just purposely to generate some controversy. I think he found some way at the end of the fight to just be like, yeah, I didn't really take that away from you. Here you go. Here's your real big check. I just wanted to yell at you in front of the crowd. But, hey, I don't know. That's just speculation. But yeah, that was one of the craziest stories this week. I wanted to mention that. Sorry, it might step on some toes, but anyway. Speaking of WWE, I just mentioned that they've got some competition here. This is a BusinessInsider.com story about a billionaire that's behind this now. Owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Job. Try Car Gurus, the fast, easy way to find great deals. Car Gurus has all makes.
We're not sponsored by Car Gurus, by the way. Anyway, WWE's got some competition. Shahid Khan, billionaire owner of the NFL's Jacksonville Jaguars football franchise, is backing his 36-year-old son Tony's new promotion, All Elite Wrestling, AEW. And we've talked a little bit about this. That's coming out of the woodwork. All the big names. We got Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, whoever they are. John probably knows better than me. Double or Nothing. Debut event. Coming up at May 25th at MGM Garden Arena in Vegas. Tony's going to stay an extra month just for that.
That's right.
After he puts it all on black. Yeah. They also, last week we talked about this, I believe Jim Ross they snagged to be one of their broadcasters. Yeah, this is big stuff. So watch out, Vince. I didn't get my royalties, so I'm going to All Elite Wrestling. Be their backup announcer. Alright. So, if that ain't enough crazy news, Manny Pacquiao is going to be in an MMA fight. That's what the rumor is. Or at least he's going to fight an MMA fighter. I think he's going to box him, though. He signed up with the promotion called Rizin. Same promotion that Floyd did the old matchup with the kickboxer that was supposed to maybe be a full contact roll around on the mat fight and turned out to be a boxing match. And so I think it's pretty much going to be the same thing here, but they're talking about putting Floyd against Takanori Gomi, old school Japanese fighter, which would be pretty
in boxing or MMA?
Boxing. Manny versus Takanori.
I thought Pac-Man was going to be fighting Keith Thurman.
That's what I had heard.
Maybe.
Huh. Well, maybe it wasn't signed. I mean, that was the rumor. Apparently they didn't sign it. I don't think Keith Thurman signed it with Rizin. That'd be strange, wouldn't it?
Well, it's like an exhibition deal, so I think he can get around his boxing deal with Premier Boxing Champions, and it's like a sparring match for him, because he'll do short rounds, and it'll be over C's, so the chance of it actually being staged are greater than anything, I think. But who knows? I mean, maybe it'll be full contact good, but somehow they'll find a way to make it not so dangerous. Let's put it that way. He's probably signed some type of agreement that, no punches to the head. No. I don't know. Nothing more than jabs from my opponent. No, I don't know how they'll do it, but it will be more exhibition than anything. I'll guarantee that. But yeah, that's one of the stories cycling around this week. So we got a couple of other ones. A couple interesting ones here. Well, it's a bad one. Our former guest, Ultimate Fighter Season 1 competitor Lodun Sincade has died. This is bad when our former guest is dying. Are we that old, Tony? 45 years old. He's only 45 years old. And this was
What?
he was on season 1 from the Ultimate Fighter, and it was one of the Tom was on that show we met. So I think it was early days of Tom, but it's on now fightradio.info. If you go there, and that's our old website link for the old podcast site.
Any cause of death?
I'm reading it now. It says just top story on Show Dogs, so must have happened recently. It was informed Thursday, Show Dog says, of his passing, confirmed by his website, which says he was found dead April 7th, 2019. So it was just recently, last week. Had no grudges and lived this life in peace. His cause of death has not yet been determined. And he was talking about getting his final fight when he talked to us, and I listened to a little bit of it earlier before the show. I had about an hour before the show to get some stuff ready, and I just happened to go to Sherdog and see the story, so I'm kind of shocked. He sounded pretty healthy when we talked to him. I mean, if it was anything related to his fight career, I don't know, but I mean, obviously they're probably going to do an autopsy and figure it out eventually. But he fought some pretty tough guys, some pretty big names. When we got him on the phone, he was talking about wanting to fight Jason Mayhem Miller, who has been fighting the law more than opponents in the cage recently. But he was signed up with a company called Minotaur in Italy to Mayhem at the time. And Lodun said, "Yeah, I heard about it. I want to redo that fight." And then he also wanted to fight Mayorga again. That was his first professional loss of his career. Finished him in the first round with strikes, and then he made his debut in his WEC. He beat James Irvin on the scorecards. Tapped out Dan Molina by rear naked choke at WEC 20 in 2006. And he ended up losing his title to Doug Marshall 3 months later. I believe I've seen fight. Palace Fighting Championship, he was also in that league. Tai Chi Palace Fights, we used to put all kinds of stories up about them. He was open about his battles with mental health issues, had bipolar disorder, PTSD after his service in the U.S. Navy, and served in the Persian Gulf. Yeah. He, in his biography, he wrote, "He passes on the same courage to his students, and his goal is to bring honor to his teachers and to inspire the rest of the world to never give up on their dreams or themselves." And yeah, he basically wanted to have his last fight so she'd have no regrets. So there you go. And tomorrow, Tony, so awesome that you're going. Not for you, I'm saying, but for anybody out there. Knock on wood. Just don't want to jinx you there. But yeah, I mean, you always got to think about that. And no matter what you do in life, you gotta go all the way, because this could be the last time you make that big effort or do that last big thing. And I don't know how it went. I am not going to look up his record yet, but yeah, we caught him at the end of his career. And when you have that kind of a career, you take a lot of bumps and bruises, and obviously in life he took those too. He had a lot of stuff in his background. We got about 40 minutes with him if you go to fightradio.info. You just hit the play button on the player. I don't know how we get to our episodes anymore. I don't know if there's a link for that. It doesn't look like there's one on this page, but it brings you right to the player. You click the play button, and then you go down the scroll, and it's like one of our second or third shows, I think we did on that platform. I'm not even sure what the year was, but a few years ago. But yeah, it's unfortunate we have to talk about that. It's, somebody dying that we've interviewed. It's kind of surreal. I would actually play some of his interview if it wasn't make it more creepy. Yeah, so that's just crazy though. Crazy stuff. All right. So we've got plenty of fights to talk about. Fights. We had not too much boxing last week, but we've got plenty coming up this week. We've got a Friday night fight this week to talk about. Vasily Lomachenko. He is fighting the big fight against Anthony Crolla. And, I don't know how big of a step up that is for him. Crolla's kind of on the way down. But at the same time, it's an intriguing fight.
About a week ago, Crolla, he's a tough guy, and I don't think he's going to be going there, to lie down. But at the same time, you're right. He's not on Lomachenko's level, and it's one of those fights where he's going to show a lot of heart, but I think that's it. I mean, could he land a shot there? I mean, it's always possible. That's the game of the sport. Anything can happen on any given night. But this is more, in my eyes, a stay busy fight for Lomachenko until something bigger comes up. To be honest, I mean, that's just my take on it.
Now, Antonio, you're going to fight?
I agree. Lomo's got to look good, though,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much question about that. I mean, when we hear puncher's chance, you know what that usually means. But how good will Lomo look? And he is a little beyond his weight class, too, because he's more of a natural 130 pounder than 135. So I don't think it's going to make a difference tomorrow night.
Yeah, probably not. Well, Crolla is 34-6-3. Vasily is 12-1. Don't let the 1 or the 12 fool you. He's been around. WBA Super World Lightweight title and the WBO World Lightweight title on the line. And the funny thing is here, I'm just noticing this now, ESPN must have paid BoxRec some big money. It says, click here to start your free trial of ESPN Plus and watch Lomachenko v. Crolla live. Right under their listing on the card. There's a link, obviously.
I gotta think ESPN Plus is like react to your account. But when did I ever deactivate my account? So they're already fucking around with me. I'll beat your ass.
Whoa, Tony's man. Anyway, co-main event, light heavyweights, Gilberto Ramirez, undefeated, 39-0, looking for big number 40 against Tommy Karpency, 29-6-1. Guy we've talked about since back in the days of UnlimitedFightNews.com instead of FightNewsUnlimited.com. We switched it up on everybody. Some people don't know that. If you go to UnlimitedFightNews.com, you still will be led to Fight News Unlimited eventually, but there's an old blog. There's a wicked old blog. If you go to UnlimitedFightNews.com/WordPress, it might blow your mind. Take on a time travel trip. A lot of broken links there, but vintage content over there. Anyway, yeah, Tommy Karpency. We've been writing about him for a while. Arnold Barboza Jr. also on this card. He's a super lightweight, 20-0, also undefeated. Fighting Mike Alvarado, who is 40-4, and I don't know how this isn't for a world title. It's just NABF Junior Super Lightweight title. What the hell is that? It's like 20-0 versus 40-4. I've seen some people fight for world titles with those records. Anyway, Alexander Besputin, 12-0 at welterweight, fighting Alfredo Rodolfo Blanco, who is 20-7 for the USBA welterweight title. And we got the Elvis fight of the week here this week. Super lightweight, Elvis Rodriguez, 1-0, fighting Kevin Alfonso Luna, who's 1-2. Tony, you're going to be fighting a guy named Jesus?
Elvis is fighting Jesus?
No, I'm saying, are you going to be fighting a guy named Jesus?
Always possible.
You should ask. I needed in my contract that I need to have a guy named Jesus as my opponent. Anyway, Chris Trietti, my buddy there. I don't actually know if I met him, but I publish his stuff on the website. Cruiserweight. It's got a big fight coming up, actually, right here in New Hampshire, out at Hampton. I'm not going to be able to make it. This is Friday night? We're still on Friday? Yeah. Friday night. Chris Trietti is 27-4, fighting Gilberto Mateus Domingos, who is 22-10 in the main event. Vacant WBC Feaker Box Cruiserweight title on the line there. And then welterweights, Derek Silveira, 15-2, fighting Roberto Valenzuela Jr., who's undefeated at 14-0. Should be a barn burner there. Good fight. Vacant USA New England welterweight title on the line. Cruiserweights again, Vincenzo Carrita, Vinny Carrita, 19-1-1, fighting Claudio Moroni Portos, 8-4-1 for the vacant ABF Continental America's Cruiserweight title. Whoa. Good stuff. Otherwise there. Then we got to go to Saturday. Big Saturday night fights. Let's see. There's one from Austria for the vacant IBF International Middleweight title. Marcos Nader. He is 21-1, 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, fighting Gogi Knezovic, who is 34-8-1. Yeah, I'm not going to butcher the rest of the names on that card, so nothing that good anyway. Montreal, Quebec, we got Marie-Eve Decaire. She's 14-0, fighting Michaela Lauren, who's 31-5. That's the main event there. IBF World Female Super Welterweight title. So, on Saturday. And then over in France, usually we don't have big, huge fights in France. Usually when we talk about France, we're talking about the mismatch of the week. But this is a good one. Middleweights, Frank Haroch. He is 44-17-5, fighting Robert Swerzbinski, who is 21-8-2.
France would be like John Mark Morbeck would be fighting.
Yeah.
In the past.
There used to be a Bergeron from Canada, too. Heavyweight. We talk about every now and then, but I guess he's not fighting anymore. Da, da, da. Find the good stuff. They save the good stuff for the bottom. Alright, down in Mexico, we always got a good fight down in Mexico. And it helps when you got a guy named Escobar on the card. Jordan Escobar. He's 14-7-2. He's also providing the party favors. No. Kareem Arce. He's 15-0-1 as his opponent. So, yeah, he's going to have to watch his Arce. That fight, Jordan. Pedro Guevara's in the main event. He is 33-3-1, fighting Marvin Solano, who is 21-3. And that's for the WBC Feaker Box Super Flyweight title. And then we get to the good stuff. The big good stuff in Mexico. We've got 3 titles on the line here. Golden Boys down in Mexico in Monterrey area. And it's Super Welterweights Jamie Munguia in the main event. 32-0, fighting Dennis Hogan, who is 28-1-1 2-1 for the WBO World Super Welterweight title. And hard to believe this isn't on American TV. I don't know why. Patrick Teixeira in the Super Welterweight. 29-1, fighting Mario Alberto Lozano, who's 33-8 for the WBO Latino Super Welterweight title. And then Areli Musino, 27-3-2, fighting Yaranath Altuve, who's 10-2 for the WBO World Female Flyweight title. And of course, the Diego De La Hoya, trying to stay undefeated at 21-0, fighting Enrique Bernache, who is 24-12. Alright, what else we got going on? Well, here's our mismatch of the week right here from South Korea. And it's probably our lowest weight class ever for a mismatch of the week, because it's minimum weight. Jae Hyun Park, 23-3 is his record, fighting for a title here, the WBF International Female Minimum Weight title. I couldn't even tell by her name that she was female. Ji Hyun Park, 23-3, fighting Yufei Wu, who is only 1-0. She must have get a world beater for that one, though. Fighting for
you know what? Lomachenko played for a world title in the second pro fight.
Yeah, I don't know. Who did she beat? Who did she beat? I saw the other girl's name, the 23-3 girl that she's fighting, and I go, oh, geez, it's a rematch. No. She beat her the first time. No. Guess who she beat the first time? An unknown opponent. Unknown. I've never seen that on BoxRec. It just says unknown.
Wow.
Win. Unanimous decision.
Impressive.
Yeah. Unknown. It's unknown whether she'll do well or not here. But if she wins, it'll be big. Big title. So yeah, there's a mismatch. Let's see what else we got. I know I'm gonna be missing something. Not to the bottom yet. USA Fox Sports 1, they've got a card going on. Premier Boxing, Warriors Boxing people. We've had Leon Margulis on the show before, the promoter there. He's a good dude. Even though we disagreed on Rances Bartholomew versus that guy from Afghanistan that's moved to Canada. Be a brutal fight, and I believe the guy that won was not the promoted guy, and it was a little bit of hometown cooking, and we went toe to toe, Mr. Margulis and I, on that. That was a good show. He was man enough to come on. I got to give him credit there. I mean, I think we knew a couple of us were kind of leaning against Bartholomew, but I got to see Bartholomew live a couple times too. He's a good fighter. Anyway. Sergey Derevyanchenko in the main event at middleweight on the Fox Sports card. He is 12-1, fighting Jack Koke, who's 25-3. And we got Peter Quillen versus Caleb Truax. Quillen's 34-1-1, and Truax is 34-1. 30 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. Sorry.
And with Quillen, he does have that stoppage loss, on his ledger as well. So it's like, and he's been around so long. It's like, is he on the downside? That's a very interesting question there. But look at the fighter who beat him as well. So, maybe one of the best middleweight in the world right now.
Right.
So that would be a good fight. Hard to predict. That's why it's a good fight to watch.
Yes, it is. And the last card we have to talk about may be the best. The females are taking center stage on Showtime. Now, it's been a long time since that happened. Claressa Shields, 8-0, fighting Christina Hammer, who has 3 times as many wins, 24-0. But she does not maybe have 3 times the talent, because we may see This is a very even fight. This could be a brutal toe-to-toe, go the distance war, or somebody could get knocked out here. It's the best of the best here. Best girl in the world versus best girl in the world. And, it's going to be smoking. IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO World Female Middleweight titles on the line. Showtime. I don't know who to predict because I really haven't seen any of these girls fight. Unfortunately, that's the nature of women's boxing. They don't get the headlining opportunities. How about you, Tony? Have you seen these girls? Tony?
Yes, sir. I had to run away. I had to get a quick drink.
Oh.
I was
Go figure.
my 3+ mile run tonight. What was your question?
Have you seen Claressa and Christina? Claressa Shields and Christina Hammer in action? Fighting.
I have. And actually, I followed Claressa Shields from when she was Olympic gold medalist. I believe she was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist.
Right.
And I watched her fight the girl that we interviewed that time, Tori. Was it Tori Nelson?
Yeah.
Sure enough, Tori Nelson. And I mean, Tori did the fight, and Claressa won that every round. Christina Hammer, I have only seen clips of. So, what a great name for a fighter, by the way. I mean, it's a hard fight to really predict, but, I think just by the pedigree of it, you have to favor Claressa in this fight. Mainly, likely, by decision. But I think it would be a clear decision. I think, she's going to just be a step ahead, like a chess match, where every time Christina, makes a move, Claressa will be either anticipating it or the step ahead, and she's going to be able to counter everything Christina does in that. And I think that's going to be the best analogy for that type of fight, where it's going to be a highly skilled chess match.
Right. Well, we will find out. Co-main event, featherweights, 9-0, fighting, Elena Graydenar, 9-0, fighting Brenda Karen Carbajal, who is 15-4-1 for the interim International Boxing Federation World Female Featherweight title. Whew, gotta catch my breath. Big one, featherweights. Also, a couple heavyweight fights here worth mentioning. Jermaine Franklin, 17-0 versus Rydell Booker, 25-1. And Otto Wallen, 20-0, fighting Nick Kisner, who's 21-4-1. So if you get Showtime, I don't know how many of those you're going to be able to see. But I'm sure they'll probably also show some highlights of Big Boy. Also at heavyweight, Samuel Peter, coming in at 37-6, fighting Mario Heredia, 15-6-1. Obviously, one of those tune-up records there, as they call them. But yeah, we'll see if he's looking good enough to tune up. In a good way, I should say, not in a bad way. Because tune up you could mean in a bad way too. Tune that guy out. So yeah, that's our boxing for the week. And we got a couple. No, just one event to talk about. Did we miss something? I got a feeling I missed an event, Tom. Are we supposed to review an event that happened last week, or was this a no UFC event?
No. We didn't miss anything.
All right. And I'm off the hook. So, I hate when I get that sinking feeling that I, lost a whole card somewhere that we didn't talk about. I like to cover all my bases, you know what I mean? So, we have the big UFC 236 coming from Atlanta, Georgia this weekend, April 13th. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. And this one's going to be a tough one. I don't really know who to predict, because I love that Max Holloway is aggressive and he puts stuff together, but I hate that he puts his face out there. And he lets himself get hit because he's so cocky. And Dustin Poirier is the type of guy that could really take advantage of that. So this is a tough one for me to say one way or another. But if I go on pure talent, I'd say Holloway. But, if I go on grit, I say Poirier. I don't know how to predict this one, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that Max is just based on performances. And I mean, I know that Poirier's been on a tear, but Max has been on more of a tear. And I think right now Max has a slight edge, but you're right about that. He's taking a lot of chances.
Yeah, and you talk about some wars these two have been in. You're almost guaranteed if this goes past round one, this is going to be another one. It's one of those ones that takes years off your life as a fighter. So, geez, I hope it's...
And then again, you wonder if Poirier is more of a natural at 155. If that's a little more of a comfortable weight for him.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Co-main event, big one, too.
Kind of look at their physique, and
Kelvin Gastelum, we talked about Lodoon being one of the first season Ultimate Fighter guys. Kelvin Gastelum was on one that I covered. I got to interview 3 different fighters from that season, and none of them made it to the finals. But, yeah, Kelvin Gastelum was one of the youngest ever to win the Ultimate Fighter. And only has 3 losses in his career now. Been in the UFC a long time. 15-3. He's had a little bit of issues. Got some drug tests that came out positive. Blew some big fights, but seems to have his shit together now. And Israel Adesanya is going to be across from him, who's undefeated and is a lot even better, I think, as far as his mix of styles than Anderson Silva ever was or could be. And it's scary that he's going to be able to get better from this point. But he is 16-0, and Kelvin Gastelum will be his biggest test so far. But, yeah, he's already beaten his idol. And even though it was a little bit past his idol's prime, it was a big performance. So here we go. Eric Anders also on the card, 11-3, fighting Khalil Roundtree, who's 7-3. Alan Juban, 16-6, fighting Dwight Grant, 9-2. OSP, Owen St. Pro, 23-12, fighting Nikita Krylov, who is 24-6. Jalen Turner, 8-4, fighting Matt Frebla, who's 6-1 with 1 draw. Wilson Race, 23-9, fighting Alexandra Pantoja, who is 20-3. Max Griffin, 14-6, fighting Zelium Amadeev, who is 8-0. And, we must have talked about this last week because of this guy's name. I remember talking about this guy's name. Boston Salmon. You guys remember that?
I like that name.
Boston Salmon.
I feel free to name that.
It's not a very good name for a fish. For a fighter, if you imagine a fish flopping on the bottom of a boat, Boston Salmon. 6-1, and they don't have a Sherdog picture. I don't know why, but yeah, he's fighting a guy named Khalid Taha, who's 12-2. Boston Salmon, trying to get his 7th win so he gets the Sherdog picture. 4th fight of the night, Bilal Muhammad, 14-3, fighting Curtis Millender, who's 17-4. And we got Montel Jackson, 7-1, fighting Andre Sukumtath, who's 13-6. Pauliana Botello in the 2nd fight of the night, 7-2, fighting Lauren Mueller, 5-1. And then Randy Costa, 4-0, fighting Brandon Davis, who is 9-5. That's it. No Bellator stuff. Nothing. Did we miss anything? If I've forgotten any big stories, I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, what's this? One more story here. Something about Anthony Joshua. What are we talking about? Floyd and Manny has been brought up again. Floyd and Manny number 2. I believe Floyd is pretty much done. What's Floyd say? But what fight we might see pretty soon is going to be Paulie.
From him, every ounce is great.
Whoa. Anyway, yeah. So we might see Paulie Malignaggi versus Artem Lobov before we see Floyd versus Manny too. But, we've also got a little bit of Connor stuff in the news. That's nothing too crazy. He's had he's had his civil case with the phone guy thrown out. I guess he settled it. Probably paid some money, but the criminal case is still proceeding. So we'll find out how that goes for him. But no word on anything as far as what his next fight is going to be. But there is excuses coming out now from his last fight. I've read just in a headline today that he's claiming now that he had a broken foot going into that fight against Khabib. Surprise, surprise. Excuses come out 4 years later. No. That's bad.
Well, I'm saying excuses are like livers. Everybody has one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess until next week, when we'll have much more to talk about. We'll say goodbye for the night and keep your hands up and have fun. Have fun. Get ready for the big one, Tony.
All right, guys.
Pleasure. I'll be talking to you soon.
All right.
Enjoy the fights this weekend. And remember, Tony, countdown. 3 weeks away, buddy. We're going to get a ringside live version. I'm excited. All right, guys. Enjoy the fights.
All right, sounds great. Later.